Hello and welcome all of you to the Prelims PYQ discussion by Neenv. The theme for this video is National Movement from 1905 to 1918. There are some specific themes within this time period like the Swadeshi movement, for which we have a separate video. Now we have two questions to be discussed in this video, and the first question is from the 2016 Prelims. It's about the Surat split. The question goes like this: what was the main reason for the split in Indian National Congress at Surat in 1907? So just the main reason behind Surat split is asked here. It's a very conceptual question. The first option, introduction of communalism into Indian politics by Lord Minto. Second, extremist lack of faith in the capacity of the moderates to negotiate with the British government. Third, foundation of Muslim League. Fourth, Aurobindo Ghosh's inability to be elected as the president of Indian National Congress. Now, without going into the answer key, if you look at the merit of this question, this first option is a straightaway eliminator. Because Lord Minto's reforms of communal electorate or introduction of communalism into Indian politics happened as a part of 1909 reforms. So, this option can be eliminated because Surat split took place in 1907. If you look at the third option, the foundation of Muslim League, it happened in 1907. But was that a cause for Surat split? No, because Surat split is something that took place within Congress and Muslim League was a separate organization. So this should be something that has to do with the internal politics of Congress. So this option can also be eliminated. The last option, Aurobindo Ghosh's inability to be elected as the president of Indian National Congress. We know that Aurobindo Ghosh was part of the extremist movement. He was part of several conspiracy cases. Then he took to retirement in the later half of the first decade of 20th century. So this is unlikely to be a reason, but there was in fact a controversy with respect to the election of president of INC and Surat split. But that's not Aurobindo Ghosh but someone else. The second statement, which is the split or the differences between the extremists and the moderates, is the reason for the Surat split. It's a very obvious answer, something that is very basic, something that we shouldn't miss. The name that I told you is Bal Gangadhar Tilak. So on the backdrop of the Swadeshi movement, the extremists wanted Bal Gangadhar Tilak or Lajpat Rai, who are extremist leaders, as the president of INC. But the moderates, on the other hand, proposed Raj Bihari Ghosh. And this led to further escalation because it's part of a long-term escalation since the founding of Congress and not just an immediate course. This is just the immediate course. So since a leader from the host province could not be session president because the session was held in Surat, they sought to drop resolutions on Swadeshi, boycott and national education. And the demands of the extremists were not accepted. So the extremists lacked faith in the capacity of the moderates to negotiate with the British government. So Surat split is a split between moderates and extremists. It's a black and white case, and hence the answer of the first question is option B. The second question, which one of the following is very significant aspect of the Champaran Satyagraha? So without going into the option, Champaran Satyagraha is one of the first moments of Mahatma Gandhi after he came to India in 1950. The options: active all India participation of lawyers, students, women in the national movement. Second, active involvement of Dalit and tribal communities in the national movement. Third, joining of peasant unrest to India's national movement. Fourth, drastic decrease in the cultivation of plantation crops and commercial crops. This is an option. It's a very simple question. Just look at the options. Active all India participation. Now, was this an all India movement? Gandhi's first all India movement was post the Rowlatt Act in 1909, and it was the non-cooperation movement. That took place in 1919 and 1921 period. Champaran Satyagraha predates that. So this option is straight away wrong. The second, Dalit and tribal communities. Now, Champaran Satyagraha doesn't have anything to do with the Dalits or the tribal communities. Gandhi's constructive program for the upliftment of Dalits took place after 1920s. So this option is also wrong. The third is joining of peasant unrest to India's national movement, which is the correct option, because Champaran Satyagraha is about peasant unrest. I'll explain that while we discuss the answer key. The last option is drastic decrease in the cultivation of plantation crops and commercial crops. Plantation crops and commercial crops is something that the Britishers were interested in. Indians were forced to cultivate these plantation and commercial crops like indigo. So why would Gandhi protest for a drastic decrease in this? So this again is an inconsistent option. If you look at the answer is an option C, as I said. Champaran Satyagraha is Gandhi's initial experiment. It's one of his first protests after he came back from South Africa. It was undertaken by Gandhi when he came to know about the suffering of the farmers who were forced into growing indigo. So just the opposite of the last option. So the tenants from Champaran region, which is in Bihar, they were forced under the law to grow indigo on 3/20th part of their land. This was known as the Tinkatiya system. So this, along with excessive demand for surplus or rents, created further agrarian distress. So Rajkumar Shukla is the person who invited Gandhi into the problems of indigo planters in Champaran of Bihar. Gandhi went there. Then he intended to conduct an investigation into the district and demand actions based on its results. And Gandhi was successful in this struggle as well, because after the Champaran Satyagraha, there was an investigation into it and there was some kind of a resolution. So we don't have to go into that depth of this to answer this question. It's just about who were the major stakeholders, and it was peasants. So it's an easy pick. This question is an easy pick in that sense. So that's the discussion of this theme. Thank you for listening.